Hi everyone, welcome to my Mimi World, my breast cancer channel where I share with you my breast cancer journey and my healing process. If it's your first time coming and watching my videos, please don't hesitate to go and look at the videos previously so you get a clearer picture of where my journey started up to this particular video. Those who are continuing and enjoying my videos, please don't forget to press that subscribe button and the notification bell so every time I post my videos you don't miss out. So now let's dive straight into my Organix Urine and Methylation test results. Looking at the fatty acid metabolism, the focus in relation to myself in this case was the mitochondria. And mitochondria is the powerhouse of our body cells, which produces 90% of the chemical energy that our cells need to survive. So no energy means no life. It's easy to see why when mitochondria goes wrong, serious disease occurs. And in my case, you can see the unstable diagonal pattern indicating a compromise of this important function. Moving on to the vitamin markers, and in this instance, looking at carbohydrates to be specific, the elevation of these markers actually indicate the inefficiency that's happening in my body due to iron deficiency. And it doesn't stop there, it goes on to the energy production, where if you look at the energy production, which is in this case, this marker serves as a crossroad of both food conversion and utilization of the food in the body. So abnormal spillage of the citric acid cycle, which is known as the CAC, in urine can actually indicate mitochondrial inefficiencies in energy production. And the vitamin markers also indicated inefficiencies in as far as the enzyme activity is concerned in my body cells. So there's been less activity happening. The rates were slower instead of being on the correct level. So you can see on the markers there, it's not, again, not in a straight line, but the trend is rather unstable. And methylation cofactor markers, which these markers actually look and focus on the dietary deficiency of B12 and folic acid. And these are associated with increased risk of many diseases, including anemia, cardiovascular disease, and chronic fatigue. So in my case, this was also another important marker pointing out that I am anemic, meaning that this methylation cofactor picked it out. And looking at the transmitters of metabolism, and these markers are B6 dependent. So they basically depend on the vitamin B6. And in my case, being a plant-based eater, I felt this was also something that I needed to actually look at and see how my body is responding to my diet. And you can see that the quinolic acid is a product of inflammation and is seen with oxidative stress, infections, or autoimmune disorders. So, however, in my trend or markers, you can see my markers are not that bad, but they are not perfect. So there's no one who can have a perfect trend, but it was not a cause of concern. So I was happy to continue with my diet based on this result. And then we moved on to the toxicants or the detoxification. I'm sure you've heard in my previous videos where I keep trying to help my liver to detox and also my kidney, because this marker actually is a key indicator of exogenous toxin accumulation and endogenous biotransformation response. Basically, in simple terms, it just shows the toxins that are inside your bloodstream and how your body is eliminating those toxins, whether your body is operating and is functioning properly and is able to actually get rid of those toxins and is not letting them accumulate, which could actually result into a disease. So intestinal microbial balance, I think in my previous video I kind of touched on that as well. And in this result, this is where we're looking at the microflora, like the flora in your gut, and it actually shows how the body absorbs food from the intestines, and this can actually be shown by this particular test. And how it's done, it's like the it can be measured in the urine, and these compounds are normally produced in the cells of your body. These compounds are absorbed into the blood from the intestines and eventually appear in the urine, normally at very low levels. Okay, at very low levels. If then it becomes too high, then it means there is a problem. You have a leaky gut, and no one wants to be in that situation where your gut is leaking, because that's a dangerous place to be. And moving on to the amino acid metabolism markers. In this instance, what was picked in relation to my case is the idea was to pick if there are any abnormalities of these markers. And normally the abnormalities of these markers are generally related to metabolic disorders due to genetic or hereditary issues, which results in micronutrient deficiencies, and also it can result in toxin abnormalities, all of which tend to interfere with the amino acid utilization. And you don't want your amino acid utilization to be compromised, because that's what we talked about at the beginning when we're looking at the mitochondria. You need your amino acids to be absorbed properly so that they can go to support your cells. And then the next one being the oxalate metabolites. And these abnormalities of these markers are generally also related to genetic disorders, dietary patterns, pollutants, like in my case, when I'm exposed to pollution, different types of pollution, of course. And this can actually pick those abnormalities and help you to guide you in as far as your diet is concerned, and also to pick certain pollutants that are being picked from your body that are coming out and being excreted as urine. The last one was the mineral metabolism. The mineral metabolism is actually very key, because in this case, phosphoric acid urine excretion is directly proportional to the dietary intake. So if you are fond of taking processed foods high in phosphates, which include foods like sodas, candy, ice cream, chocolate, mayonnaise, frozen pizza, commercially backed goods, and meats, excess phosphate you get from these is associated with calcium metabolism disorders and high blood lead levels, renal damage. So you can actually end up to having a serious renal damage, or low urinary phosphate is most common in low phosphate intake and vitamin D deficiency. So this is where we need to look at, do you need vitamin D? And as I was running through my research as well, I came across an article that actually highlights that people of African descendants actually don't absorb vitamin D from the sun like everybody else. I found that fascinating, because we already have a lot of melanin, so our bodies are not able to absorb vitamin D. So in that case, it means that most of us, we actually need to supplement in vitamin D. So that being the case, you can see that I had, in the next shot, I'm going to show you the supplementation that I got to support this journey. So now let's move on to my supplementation, which is something that a lot of people have been curious about. I prepared a collage picture for you so you can actually see all of them on one snapshot. I'll go straight into my supplementation. The reason why I actually got this supplementation was to try and bridge, or to actually try and help me recover from those deficiencies that my body had been deprived from for such a long time. My body had been struggling, operating at very minimal capacity in as far as the functioning of the cells is concerned. So this supplementation was actually to help me, since we all know that in as much as you might be plant-based, we all know that in terms of the nutritional value that we get from the vegetables and from any plants that we eat has been eroded by the pollution, the pesticides, and all the toxins that are used to actually grow the plants that we eat. So in a way, our plants don't have as much nutritional value as they used to in the ancient days. A long time ago in the ancient days, you just needed to eat one apple. But in these days, the equivalent of one apple is 20 apples. So can you see the amount of deficiencies that the human body will be going through? If you're just eating one apple every day and you think you're getting the nutritional value that you should get, it's actually not true, because your body will be struggling. So you need to eat a lot of fruits. You need to eat loads of veggies for you to be able to help your body to get all the nutrients that it deserves. With the knowledge that I now have, I realized that supplementation was the only way to go. I needed to supplement because there is no guarantee that the carrots that I use for juicing, the beetroots that I use for my juicing, all those kind of vegetables, yes, I buy them from organic farms, but the question is, how organic is organic? So supplementation was the only way I could try to bridge and help my body. So now let me show you my supplementation. Please take caution. Do not buy supplements without a prescription from your naturopath. It's easy for us to fall into the trap of saying everyone is doing it. You walk into a pharmacy and you just grab a bottle, or you ask a pharmacist, I just need a vitamin C, I need this. You need someone who has the expertise, who has enough knowledge to actually help you discuss which supplement helps all, because you know that sometimes you can take a supplement and that supplement, the body cannot absorb it. It requires another supplement for it to be absorbed into the intestines and to move into the bloodstream. We have those carriers, so you have to be very careful. Don't just use your own diagnosis. Go and get checked like I did. That way you'll get the best supplementation that will actually meet your needs. Now you can look at my supplementation list. As you can see, I'm not advertising for these companies. These were my top preference supplementation, because also previously working with my health coach, I was reading a lot about supplementation and understanding what supplementation is and what damage it can do to your body if not taken correctly. You can actually waste a lot of money buying supplementation if you don't know the right combinations. So you need to know the combinations, and we have trained expertise who are actually trained to actually guide you through that process. So I advise you to make sure that you consult first before you even buy any kind of supplementation. You might just waste your resources. If you saw my skin in December last year and my skin now, the variance is incomparable, because at that time my skin was dry. I had already been put onto secondary menopause. It was so dry and brittle. I would have to apply loads and tons of oils, but now I don't have to put any oils. My skin is just naturally healing itself and it's actually glowing. I have the glow that I need, and I am so happy about that. Your looks matter as a woman. So this is something, gaining my womanhood back is something that is priceless for me. So please make sure you consult. After having been consulting with my health coach, she guided me to stop taking any other kind of supplementation, synthesized supplementation. These are supplements that are made in the laboratory and they carry so many toxins with them. So you have to be very careful when it comes to supplementation. For anyone who saw me around the period of October, November, December, and they see me now, they are actually surprised to see how drastic my body, my skin texture has improved. Everyone would ask me, what are you using? And yet, because I'm so careful and I don't want any toxins on my body, I don't use anything. It's just eating well, exercising, giving my body enough rest that it requires. I sleep 8 to 10 hours sometimes, because I just feel I need to treat my body with so much respect and with so much love. I hope this video has helped and benefited you. The next video I am going to be talking about something that's very close to my heart. A lot of people ask, what are affirmations? How do they work? How do you affirm? How do you even come up with affirmations? In my next video, I'm going to take you through the 3-step process that I used to create my own affirmations. And these have helped me. I will explain further in the next video. Stay tuned so that you don't miss it. I hope to see you in the next video. And for the last time, don't forget to press that subscribe button and the notification bell so you won't miss out on the affirmations video. Bye.